Here.
Schrader,
He's here. Yep.
Peterman, here, Paul,
Here.
Bowden,
Here.
Andrews.
Here. Proof of giving public meeting notice, Aaron?
Yes, notices were posted at both schools, sent to the Village of Dickey Building, Cuba City City Hall, and members of the media Tuesday, January 17th.
Thank you very much. Consideration of the consent agenda then, are there any items A through C that you would like further discussion? Hearing none, would someone move?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a
I'll second.
Chuck, or, yep.
Collins, White,
Yes.
Schrader. Yes. Peterman, yes, Paul,
Yes.
Bowden,
Yes.
Andrews.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Administrative reports,
Yep, they're all linked in there for you to
Yep.
read. One thing I do want to share is a big thank you goes out to the city of Cuba City. They picked a day and they just wiped out all negative meal account balances to the tune of about $1,120. So we really appreciate that from the city of Cuba City.
Thanks.
oh, awesome.
Awesome.
Public recognition, I don't think there is any.
Check. Did any of you guys come to talk today or no? All right, then we can move on to the next one.
All right. Discussion items, the first one was rebranding options for the school logo and or mascot.
All right, so that actually comes from you guys. I had two board members contact me and say, hey, can we get a logo? And so I brought up, there's a lot of different options you have. There's a total rebrand where, you know, we talk with community members and school students and have kind of different ideas, and that's a total rebrand. Or maybe we have an adjustment to a rebranding, or maybe we just find a logo. So my question today is, do you want us to start that process? And the reason we bring it up now is because a couple board members asked, but now is the right time if we're going to do something to make that change when we have a new floor and new parts of the building, we could display that. So is that a route you want us to go on it? And if it is, then each month we'll say, okay, now let's start to set some parameters on that. What does that mean? Do we want to do this? And then what's our next step? So if you want us to go down that route, we'll start a little bit at a time and go. And I know because our athletic director already told me, people saw this in the agenda and freaked out because they thought we were getting rid of everything. And she's like, we're just initially talking about it. So is that something that you guys want us to look into?
I think it's a great idea.
I'm open to looking into it, but I think we do have to be careful because they can get very large in terms of scope and cost and time invested. So I want those parameters to just be very clear from the outset of what we're looking to do.
Well, I guess I'd be curious if the couple board members who were interested can tell me what their thoughts were about rebranding. Meaning, when I think of that, I mean, is it limited to just the logo and the mascot, or?
I think it was
are we
brought up as
changing
a-
the name of the school district, or what are we doing?
I think it was brought up as, can we find a logo?
Okay.
And then, so I said, well, along with that, here are all the options. We could certainly go with just trying to find a logo. I think
What
that's
is our logo right now?
The shield.
But then like
Shield.
on sports, you see CC, you
Yep.
see like Cubans, you
There's
see
not
like all sorts of
consistency.
stuff. Like we don't
There's
really
no
have
one
a,
specific, right? How do we incorporate the other cities and towns?
Well, I think that's a step in like month 4. You know, so I think that's something that you look at.
Right, I mean, they got ownership also. You know, besides just Cuba City, you've got Dickeyville, you got part of Keeler, you've got, you know.
Unfortunately, Hazel Green already took Southwestern School District out of the equation, so I'm not sure,
Yeah.
other than an opening it up to the competition of the seniors only here as to what we name it,
So I'm hearing,
I was
yes,
just curious.
we'll begin looking into it.
All right, I mean, I think the Cubans is, probably something that we can get a little more creative or whatever, so.
I have heard some good ideas and some, to your point, that can be tied in and tweaked. so that you don't have to do a total rebrand, which means all new everything.
Well, because that, yeah, as soon as you said it, I was like, if we have to get all new jerseys for every team and it's not on a rotational basis, you can add up very quickly, but it doesn't sound like that's necessarily the route we go.
And that's where setting up those parameters are pretty good. And our activities director will be here next time to share her idea, because it was really good. But
When is that?
when we come to that point, Carrie has a really good idea. But I think it's important that we set parameters before that. All right, so that's a yes. Should we move on to number 2?
All right. Possible land acquisition. The land west of the football field, 44 acres, is up for sale. Is that something that we as a board would like to pursue? Because at this point, I'm probably going to say that we are landlocked. And I don't, it's not, we need the land today for our building project, but if that turned into a subdivision, Sarah with all her monies decides that she's going to invest and make a few million. You're not going to be, you'd have, if you wanted to build a new school someday, where would you build it?
You have to go up.
So I don't know how we would, I don't know what the process would be that, I don't know the possible ways that we would be able to fund that. But if that's something that you want me to look into, then we'll start doing that tomorrow. If that's something you want us to pursue, that doesn't mean we're doing it.
I think we definitely should pursue that for that same reason that Gary echoed that.
Yeah.
And again, it's not for this year or 10 years from now, but at some point in time, the school district's gonna have needs. And to control that ground that sits next to us would be vital in my.
Great. All right, we'll start that.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
To find out, I know that, Southwestern just did the same. Obviously, I don't think we're probably keeping 44 acres, but, if you had a chunk, whatever that might be, that you could at least use for future.
How far is the city coming up that direction?
I don't know.
You can, or you could, the ground that he's talking about
Yeah, I know where it's
is
at.
chisel plowed.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
the ground the city bought. Is
Okay.
it, if you look at that fence line.
Well, one positive, you get a little rent off of it for ground for a few years or whatever.
Yep.
About 250 an acre.
Okay. It sounds like I don't hear any
Very good.
no's, so.
We'll look into it.
All right, new business, approve the date and time of the February regular board meeting. February 15th at 6:30 is, could we move it up to 5:30?
And this will be the last time I ask you to move it up for an hour, because they won't plan any more Wednesday night games.
It's February 15th at 5:30. 2:30, yeah.
I'm fine moving it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that.
All righty, somebody want to make that motion?
I'll move to approve the February regular board meeting for Wednesday, February 15th at 5:30.
I'll second.
Collins.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Schrader. Hinderman, yes. Pohl.
Yes.
Bowden.
Yes.
Andrews.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item B is approve the 23-24 and 24-25 school calendars, Aaron.
Yep, no changes in 23-24 as from what we approved 2 months ago. And then 24-25 gets us back in a normal calendar year with a September 1 start.
Okay, so you wouldn't, construction will be roughly done.
They have told us that we can have, they're anticipating a September 1 start. The gym may not be fully ready in September. Hopefully it is within, by the end of October. But we can still run school if we don't have access to that part of the building.
If there's no questions, would someone?
I'll move to approve the 23-24 and 24-25 school calendars as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Take your pick, please.
Collins.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Schrader.
Yes.
Hinderman, yes. Pohl.
Yes.
Bowden,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
motion carried.
Item C is approve the dates for the 23 summer school session.
Yeah, with summer school being shortened, or with the summer being shortened, we're considering that for both families and our summer school staff. So we're recommending that instead of going our regular 5-week summer school, that we conduct it at 3 weeks, where we would start Monday, June 12th, go through Thursday, June 29th, so that students and staff have the entire month of July without anything.
If that's acceptable, somebody move.
I'll move to approve the dates for the 2023 summer school session as presented.
Second.
I'll second.
Collins,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Schrader,
Yes.
Hinterman, yes. Poole,
Yes.
Bowden,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
motion carried.
Item D is designate the number of seats available for the open enrollment for regular education students.
So every July, or every January, we have to do this. This is the same that we've done every year. We don't put any open enrollment seat limits for regular education, because if we do, then we would only accept open enrollment during the 3-month window. If we don't have general education restrictions, we can take them 12 months a year and we get a fair number of students in the other 9 months. So that's my recommendation.
Is there any questions? Would someone move?
I'll move to approve no seat limits for regular education students as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Collins,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Schrader,
Yes.
Hinterman, yes. Poole,
Yes.
Bowden,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
motion carried.
Designate the number of seats available for open enrollment for special education students.
Same process we've used the last few years. Also, we take a look at who's currently enrolled, how many evaluations are in process to see what our seat limits should be, and we only have 3 different requirements for seat limits as we've done in the past.
If there's no questions, would someone move?
I'll move to set open enrollment seat limits for special education students as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Collins,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Schrader,
Yes.
Hinterman, yes. Poole,
Yes.
Bowden,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
motion carried.
Item F is to approve the change to additional compensation for teachers in the district handbook.
We are having a hard time with substitute teachers this year, so much that at the elementary school, because this doesn't happen in middle or high school, if one grade level teacher, if I say like a 2nd grade teacher is absent and we can't find a 2nd grade teacher, the other 2nd grade teacher just said, well, I'll take the whole grade level for today and just go through that lesson. So they've been doing that, and we don't have a provision for that in our handbook. So what I am recommending is that basically we use the same dollar allocation that we would have used for a sub, because that they're doing the work of a sub. So there's no increased cost to the district. It's to the nearest dollar under that, so it might be 4 cents less. But the recommendation would be that if they do that, we pay teachers $112 for that day, because that's roughly the cost of a sub. And if it's a half day, then it would be 56.
Are there questions regarding that policy change? Hearing none, would someone move?
I'll move to approve the change to additional compensation for teachers in the district handbook as presented.
Is there a second?
I will second. Collins,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Schrader,
Yes.
Hinterman, yes. Poole,
Yes.
Bowden,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
motion carried.
Item G is approve the geotechnical proposal, can't even say it, from CGC.
Yep, so this is just something that we have to do to make sure that everything gets done before we put shovels in the ground for the referendum. So both G and H are recommendations that we've gone over for the core planning group, and recommendations from Brea and the best price that we can get for these.
I will move to approve the geotechnical proposal from CGC as presented. Is there a second?
I will.
Collins,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Schrader,
Yes.
Hinterman, yes. Poole,
Yes.
Bowden,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
motion carried.
H is approve the storm management plan and permitting from POB.
The same thing, both of these are, part of that other thing that we were talking about today, as far as, okay, here's the construction cost, here's the total cost. These are some of those things in the middle, so this one's about 5,000.
Question. Would someone move?
I'll move to approve the storm management plan and permitting from POB as presented.
I'll second.
Collins,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Schrader,
Yes.
Hinterman, yes. Poole,
Yes.
Bowden,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
motion carried.
Item I is approve the bid from Geezy Roofing for the Cuba City Elementary roof replacement this summer. Chuck and I were present when we had 3 companies bid, and the lowest bidder was Geezy Roofing, and we are making that recommendation. Are there questions? Would someone move?
I'll move to approve the bid from Geezy Roofing for CCES roof replacement as presented.
I will second it.
Andrews.
Yes.
Oh, I started keeping it backwards, sorry. Bowden,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Hinderman, yes. Schrader. White,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Just keeping you on your toes. Motion carried.
All right.
Personnel?
And then personnel is approved the usage of .com therapy. Aaron?
Yep, so this is something all CESA 3 schools are dealing with. There's been a huge increase in our need for speech and language services. At the same time, there is a shortage of speech and language therapists. So this is very COVID related, very much tied to early learners. And so we're looking at having this .com therapy because there aren't people out there to find for a 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 position. So again, a certain part of this will be reimbursed because all special ed staffing gets a certain, about 30% of that is reimbursed. Will add to the budget, but we have kids that are in need of those services. And so that's our recommendation in order to meet all the needs, is that's what we'll do.
If there's no questions, would someone move?
I'll move to approve the usage of .com therapy as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Collins.
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Schrader,
Yes.
Hinderman, yes. Paul,
Yes.
Bowden,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
motion carried.
Committee reports, budget and finance. Is there anything, Chuck, Aaron?
Haven't met.
Building and grounds.
We're going to meet, we're going to talk about the poles that fell over. Those light poles, we had one fall over. Ben is worried the other one might be, so we'll meet and we'll talk about that
All right. Then we got
probably in February.
the sewer issue too, if we can
Yeah.
get that camera, or I think it has been camera.
Okay. Strategic communications review and strategic planning. Is there any
Nope.
need to meet, or was that one of the ones that possibly we're gonna discontinue?
Yeah, because we've just been using special board meetings and involving the whole board and all those.
Curriculum, instruction and assessment, you meet again in September, the way it looks. Personnel, any update, Aaron, on that?
I'm still meeting with the CCEA, and they had their meeting a week ago, maybe. And so I'll continue to work with that small group on something before we bring it to the personnel committee.
Okay. Policy met a month ago. Is there anything new on that?
Nope, we acted on all those last month.
Okay. Technology and transportation.
We received all the bids on Friday, so we will have a technology and transportation meeting coming up. Whether we be with Southwestern School District or not, we're not sure yet. But that will be
And-
coming up.
But definitely, within a couple of weeks, and we act on it in at the
Probably
next meeting
in February.
February.
I'm gone the first week.
I'll send some possible dates out there. John and I want to meet first.
Okay. All right.
How many bids do we get? Can we tell that?
Yep, we got 2.
Foundation, anything? Looks like not.
We'll meet in a few weeks.
We meet in a couple of
Meet
weeks.
February 8th. All right. CISA 3, I don't have anything. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Are we ignoring these ladies? Were they here for some reason? Just came to watch?
I can speak to that. So I actually met with Ms. Timmerman and wanted to get some students involved in board meetings. So we've had the student council. We're going to have probably a rotation. Paige is the president, so she will probably be here. A lot of them, as I understand, but then some of the other students will circulate through.
Do we
too.
want to add something to the agenda for them to speak on what's going on?
Well, that was something that Carolyn and I talked about initially. She felt at this point, she just wanted to have them come in and be a part of it, like witness it. I would love to have it, but baby steps.
Well, thank you for attending, ladies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We see you again.
So all of you are running for the school board then again someday?
Give it a lot of thought.
Oh, it's all right.
Does everybody know these three?
I
I do.
know.
Can you,
We're all seniors. So, yeah.
okay. Can you just tell us your name, please?
Paige Terpstra. Ava Lakeford. Monica Smith.
You're not a senior?
I'm a senior, but
Not
you are.
See your AARP card?
Getting closer. If you have any questions about the process too, we're happy to talk to you about it. I'm happy to talk to you about it. Brad is not.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Thanks, Don. Have a good
everybody.
night.
Good job, ladies.
Thanks, Don.
Thank you guys for coming.